boys and girls. We're going to pick up in the doll people. We're on page 37 is where we left off. Remember, there was this fun picture up at the top. You can see Annabelle dangling her legs over the edge. All right, so we left off on page 37. Let's see what happens next. The next morning, the moment Kate's house had emptied, Annabelle said, "Mama, why don't we ever leave our house?" "Leave our house?" Mama repeated. "Why?" "Annabelle, you know the answer to that." "I know you say it's because it isn't safe," Annabelle began. "It most certainly is not," said Nanny. "How would you leave the house anyway, Annabelle?" Annabelle, who was sitting on the floor of the parlor with her legs dangling over the edge, looked below her. It was a long way down. The shelf on which the doll house sat was in a corner of Kate's room. Just below it was the wooden stool. It was 4 steps high, painted white with pink roses. The top step was just 2 inches under the shelf. Kate used the stool to reach the rooms on the top floor of the house, although she no longer needed it for the rooms on the first floor. Sometimes she slid the stool under the shelf, but it was out now, and Annabelle studied it. "I bet I could go down the steps of the stool," she said, leaning over. "Oh, Annabelle," said Mamma, "how would you get back up the steps? Each one is higher than you, and if you fell, you'd land on hard floor." "You'd crack your head open," added Bobby. "I just think I could do it." "How did Auntie Sarah leave the house?" asked Annabelle. For a moment no one spoke. Annabelle looked intently at her parents. "Annabelle," said Papa at last, "leaving the house is dangerous. The captain—" Remember who the captain is? The cat. "You didn't answer my question," Annabelle persisted. "How did Auntie Sarah leave? I know she left." "Oh, that was so long ago," said Mamma. "Yes, she did used to leave, but I have an idea. How about having a sing-along right now? It's a bit risky, but I think we can get away with it." "What do you mean? Auntie Sarah used to leave the house?" interrupted Bobby. "She did," said Annabelle, "all by herself." "Is that true?" Bobby turned to Mama and Papa. "She really did?" Mama and Papa glanced at each other, then at Uncle Doll, and Uncle Doll, to Annabelle's surprise, glared back at them. What does it mean to glare? Think about that for a second. It means to give kind of a hard, stern look. He was definitely trying to send a message to Mama and Papa. "Why?" said Bobby. "Why did she do that? I mean, what did she do while she was out of the house? Where did she go? And, Annabelle, how do you know she used to do that?" Everyone now turned to Annabelle. Silence. "Well, what about the sing-along?" said Mama brightly. "We can start off with respect," added Papa. "No," said Annabelle. "I want to know something. Didn't anybody ever look for Auntie Sarah after she disappeared?" "Why, of course, Annabelle. We searched this house from top to bottom," replied Papa. "But didn't you look for her outside of the house?" Out there?" Annabelle gestured to Kate's room and to the hallway beyond. "Well, as we've said, that would have been very dangerous," said Papa. "Humph." Uncle Doll turned his head away. So Uncle Doll made that noise, turned his head away. What do you think he's feeling? He's acting kind of strange. "But it was Auntie Sarah," said Annabelle, glancing curiously at her uncle. "If I were missing, wouldn't you look for me?" "Goodness, Annabelle, I don't think you're going to go missing," said Nanny. "I could. Something could happen to me, and I could disappear and be in great danger. The captain could climb up the stool and run off with me, or Nora could take me and lose me somewhere, and I would hope you would look for me." "But, Annabelle," said Nanny, "you know full well that would put us in danger. We would wind up in doll state, or permanent doll state. But after I was missing for so long, wouldn't you look for me? Mama? Papa? Wouldn't you?" Mama and Papa looked at each other, then at Nanny. Uncle Doll glared at all 3 of them. No one said a word. "How about respect?" suggested Bobby in a small voice. Still, no one said a word. That seems like a very tense situation. What do you think was going on? That night, long after Kate had gone to sleep and Mamma had said it was all right to move about the house, Annabel lay on her bed refusing to speak to anyone. Her family left her alone and she pulled Auntie Sarah's journal out from under her covers. Annabel skipped ahead a few pages and read that Auntie Sarah was planning a nature study exploration. She squinted down at the fine pen markings on the page, frustrated at having to read such exciting words by Kate's nightlight only. I need to develop a greater understanding of the creatures in this house, Auntie Sarah had written, and Annabel realized she meant the human's house, not the doll's house. Annabel thought about this for a while. Then she snapped the journal shut. She slid it under her covers and marched out of the nursery and down the stairs to the parlor, where she found the rest of her family. The adults and Bobby were talking quietly while baby Betsy sat leaning against the piano playing with a stuffed bunny. Annabel stood still and looked at everybody, her hands on her hips. After a moment, she said, I have an announcement to make. I am going to search for Auntie Sarah. Everyone began talking at once. Oh, no, said Mamma. Annabel, you can't, said Nanny. Right now? Asked Uncle Doll. This isn't safe, said Papa. Annabel thought about brave Auntie Sarah. She thought about Amelia Earhart and Eleanor Roosevelt and Nancy Drew. I'm going anyways, she said. The rest of the dolls sat in stunned silence. At last, Uncle Doll rose to his feet. Well, Annabel, if you are going to go, no matter what, he said slowly, then I am going with you. And that is the end of the chapter. So that finishes chapter 3. And next time we'll start chapter 4 called Hello Fun Crafts. So think about what Hello Fun Crafts might mean. And I will see you next time. Bye for now.